All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Readers. We are continuing our AI sector review, looking at Soundhound and Guardian Force. Is that the name of it? Hold on one second. Guard Force AI. Those are the two. Sorry about that. Look, real quick, what are we going to do today? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how things are setting up. We have our 5 moving averages. This is the first time I'm covering these stocks, so I will draw some new horizontal support and resistance lines. And then when we're done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, if you can please like and subscribe, it does really well with the YouTube algorithms. And then if you disagree with anything, please throw it in the comments, all right? I'm very open to opposite opinions, and I would much rather you tell me I'm wrong than me watch my money go down the toilet in the market, right? So two-way street here, right? I'm making videos, you're helping me too, you know. So let's get into the details. And look, I'm gonna I obviously wish I was trading the stock. I was not looking at the AI sector when it ran, but this thing went from $1 to $4 very, very quickly. Okay, so if you're not in this already, and again, I am not in this. I obviously, again, I wish I was, but hey, you can't win them all, right? I'm very much going into this knowing, dude, this thing can drop to 2 and someone down here is still making double their money, right? So I'm not the biggest fan of seeing this. However, there's a lot going on right here that really makes me believe there's a continuation ready to happen, right? So first and foremost, the 200 literally starts right there, right? There is no purple line right here. So this is a new stock, right? The 100 was right here. After 100 more days, you get this. And then obviously, look, it's only been alive since May of last year, right? It's not even a full year of trading yet, okay? This thing makes a beautiful run, right? Over the 8, over the 20, good things happen. Breaks this one, breaks this one. This was the last one at the time, right? So it looks like it's going to go. And then all of a sudden, as this 200 forms, it kind of brings everything back to reality, right? I'm very happy that we bounce on the 200. This does close over. Yeah, that closes over. That looks like it closes over again, but neither is substantial enough to really like say we've taken the 8, right? I'm still real happy we're over the 200. This right here is a pretty decent candle, okay? Are we over that one? No, we're not. We're under it by a penny. So this closes at 203. We obviously close at 202. I would enter up here. I'll be honest with you. Again, if I'm, like I said, I'm really not in this thing. If this thing can, what was it? Is that a good number? Yeah, that is the right number. I'll take an alert at 4. Nope. I've been doing that lately, which is like make it on the line. I actually really prefer just doing the numbers. So give me a penny higher. Let me know if we're at 464. Break this candle, and yeah, I'd be real interested, because what does that mean? It means we actually for sure did break the 8 right here, and yeah, that 200 did its job. And look, as much as it looks like this is kind of coming down, it also kind of looks like it's starting to go back up, and this 20 is still looking like it wants to go up, right? It's not really saying I'm coming back down or even horizontal. It wants to cross that $3 line, right? So as long as these two are going up, it's a really beautiful thing, okay? By no means am I saying it's going to come down here, but you at least have to draw this line right here. Why don't I think it's going to come down here? Because look, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 moving averages to catch it, right? One of these for sure should catch it before it drops to here. Obviously, if we lose the 50, I'm going to get real worried, right? But for now, there's a good amount going on up here. I'll use the weekly to see if there's oh man, look at this weekly chart. That's a beautiful weekly chart, okay? Couple things to call out, but yeah, I mean, first off, you can clearly see that we're well over the 8 and well over the 20. There is no other moving average, so technically we are over all the moving averages. That's a good break. That's not quite good confirmation. All right, this is almost a doji with the wick up, wick down, and a like that's a better doji. That's even more, and that's even more. But yeah, that's not a good confirmation candle at all, especially for the first time since we've broken the last moving average, right? So this didn't count. Again, this doesn't count either, right? And there were moments people thought it was going to go like, I mean, almost a 50% candle, if not even all the way down to here, right? But a good recovery up, And it looks like we do close higher. Yeah, Friday last week was 396. Clearly we broke the $4 right here, right? So still reason to be, oh man, and look, that's, no, this one is this one higher? So that's a $4 close. That's a, yeah, it got over this one as well. Damn, you gotta like it. Again, this is my entry line. If we can get over that, I mean, for sure, I'd love to know. RSI is a little high, okay? 70 is a little closer to 80 than ideal, especially on the weekly. But hey, well, so far, this is bullish, that's bullish. Clearly, that's good. I obviously wish we didn't drop so much volume, right? Over to almost 300 million down to under 100. I mean, we've given up 66% volume, right? That's not a great thing week over week, but it was an uncertain week, right? I think if people decide this is going to go up next week, right, tomorrow, we might see one of these. You know what I mean? So overall, I'm still relatively bullish here. But again, I actually would really not touch this unless it crosses this. Because one more time, even if this thing drops to 3, right, losing $1, that sucks this way. But someone's still killing it and made 3x, right? So and if I had to guess, any stop loss is probably going to be maybe at the top of this, right? So I think someone would be real okay letting it come down a little bit more and just never losing that and still banking well more than double, almost 3x, right? So again, I do like to think about how others entered and rode this, especially if I'm not in it and considering an entry myself. You know what I mean? So that was Sound Hound AI. And now we look at GFAI, Guard Force AI, okay? A very, very different chart to say the least, right? Let me zoom out to January. Oh, man, okay. So, okay, whoa, all right, took me a second to see it. This thing in January basically goes, and let's actually use this when it gets over the 8, right? But it basically goes from $7 to roughly $21, right? Actually, a little bit more than $21, right? So someone definitely banked a 3x right here, even though it doesn't look wildly steep, right? It really all kind of happened on these couple days right here in early February. Clearly, and I really, really hope I don't need to say it because so much bad has happened over the last 5 days, okay? Lose the 8, lose a really important cluster, all right? It's really hard to lose 2 lines, and you can see it. It dojis right here, loses the first one, loses both together, and then that's a pretty hard confirmation that makes me believe we're maybe coming to the top of this one around 964. More than likely, we're coming down to this cluster around 880, right? That's a real ugly MACD. Clearly, RSI is on a nice little downward slope. Red is well over green on both of them. And I mean, this could still go a little lower, right? I normally say 30 is oversold, right? So this thing, like I said, if it goes to 30, it'll probably take it down to this 880, right? Because roughly speaking, that's a $2 loss. That's a little bit more than 20% right there, right? So probably a little closer to 20, probably a little closer to 10. Yeah, no, almost 20%. Yeah, because it's still a $1.08. So yeah, I really see this kind of being the target here. I'll throw it out there. We've seen 3 real AI stocks. We just saw SoundHound. I did AI on the other one. Both seemed like they were wanting to be bullish. The fact that this one isn't maybe has me a little skeptical about the other two, but because again, if you watch my videos, the goal is everyone in the sector is kind of doing the same thing. Again, this one's a little more security and protection services is what it looks like. Let me just go to Sound. This one's more software application, right? So they all in the AI world, but they are all just a little different. This one's also in the IT sector. So again, but that at least says this one should look a lot more like Guardian. Oh no, these ones are also different. So yeah, again, they're all in the same AI world, but they're just a little bit different enough to maybe justify the different charts. So kind of talking out loud as I was learning that with you. But technically speaking, I hope you can see that there's a lot of bad happening here with all these bad indicators down there, right? Man, look at the weekly. That's a horrible, horrible rejection on the 50, right? And look, I mean, Obviously, the last one is always the hardest one, right? I generally assume it's going to be the 200, but yeah, breaking the 50 here is equivalent to breaking the 200. This is the last one on a stock that only started trading in October of 21, right? So it's just a little more than a year and a half old. So yeah, if it could have gotten over the 50, this thing actually might have ran to 50. You know what I mean? But clearly, it's hard to break the last one, whether it is the 200 if it's an older stock, or yeah, the 50 if it's a relatively new one, right? Or even the 20, right? We just saw it on the last one, did we not? Oops, sorry. SOUN. Did we not just see that, right? Yeah, exactly. Breaking this 20, breaking this 20 was the equivalent of breaking the 200. And yeah, we actually get some decent candles on that, right? So, yeah, exactly. I actually think that's about it. We talked about the daily, we talked about the weekly. Yeah, I'm good with it. I guess I'll just flash the monthly real quick. Why not? Let's just do it real quick. Hey, first one over the 8. Definitely still, I mean, we're closer to the end of the month actually too. So very interesting actually. A lot of red. And like I said, oh, that's only 14, but still 14 from 10. That's a beautiful, that's 40% jump right there, right? So interesting. This is definitely one to keep an, oh, I haven't drawn any lines. Sorry about that. All right, one sec. Clearly that's going to be an interesting one. Obviously, we're going to draw the ones at the bottom too. So we do the tops and the bottoms. Okay, you know what? I'm going to draw this one. I'm going to see if this will bounce us like we talked about. I also talked about it maybe being this one up here, right? Yeah, let's lower it to what we initially said. I'll stick with it. I'll use the top of this guy. In case, like I said, it should be coming down to this one, though, more than likely. And then on the weekly, yeah, there's not much more to draw, actually. I will take the bottom of that plateau instead of the top of it. So that's, I think these are good lines for this guy. So, hey, again, if you disagree with anything, please let me know. Otherwise, I sincerely appreciate your time. Hey, have a great one.